Good evening. Again, a lie. Actually, no, it's a little before midnight, which still is not evening, but I digress. So, we'll start with the obvious news. I know everyone here is probably looking for an update on the dog, and Coco did come home today. Um, her face is almost completely gone down. The only little holdout is, we imagine just normal swelling, kind of like, just from the general trauma of the other swelling. But we're fairly sure, or the vet's fairly sure they got it cleaned out. So it's not. It shouldn't. What's left shouldn't be another abscess. Um, we did find out that she had some fluid on her lungs, and the beginnings of heart disease, which is really normal for her breed and age. In fact, she's um, she's leaning on the older side of when this stuff begins. So, but we've got her all kind of fixed up on meds, and her general demeanor is fantastic. Um, for a while, she had a bit of a cough. She had a cough for like months on end, but that's gone. She was hassling a lot over the last few days. That's gone. She's just happy to be home and staring at people fixing food for themselves. And she did get a little bit spoiled today, because we were happy to have her back. But all in all, she's herself again, and she stunk. I had to give her a bath. I had to give her a bath. But it wasn't. It wasn't just It wasn't her ear being rank. It was just dog needs bath, which was nice for a change. It's been a while since with her. It's just been dog needs bath and not um, the ears are driving me insane. So that's the important news. I continued playing Dragon Quarter the most of the day, and got up to where I did my last reset, and I've been more smart about. Last time I kind of soft locked myself, which isn't a good word for it, but I backed myself in a pretty rough corner, um, because when you die and retry, you start back at your last save with all of your current equipment and skills, but you lose your inventory and you go back to the base inventory you started with, which is just a couple of healing items, one revive, and a save token. And your accumulated money and party experience that you have in stock, not what you've spent, is cut in half. And this is where I'd kind of backed myself into a corner, because I was getting major diminishing returns on my money and could not afford to go back and completely re-up on healing stuff. And then in the area I'm in, once you go a floor up, you cannot backtrack. So, not that I did that a lot in the past, but like, this is a time where I'm getting a lot of items that seem pretty great, and I'd love to go back and get them appraised so I could use them, equipment and stuff. Or, after there's like one boss fight, and then you're stuck on the other side of that boss fight, and you can't go back and get your stuff appraised. You can't go re-up on meds. You can't go save again. And then today I realized, I'm just walking into another boss fight, a much harder one. And I almost walked away. In fact, when I stopped playing, I was convinced I was done. But I think a lot of it was how tired I was this afternoon. And I've developed a strange pain. This is going to be really awkward to try. So, it runs up my hand along my index finger. See the raised muscle there? That's not hurting right now, but move your index finger around and trace that muscle up, and it's hurting in both hands, and I don't know why. And it gets to the point where at my wrist it feels like someone's driving a nail in it. And that literally started in the last few hours of the day. And it probably didn't help that to chill out I switched over to Risk of Rain 2. The first time I've messed around with the anniversary update, which was a new character, redesigns of some areas, and the new character's fun. The outlaw is fun. And God, every single time, even though I know it's going to be like this going in, every single time I boot up that game, I am just enamored with its music all over again. It has such a fantastic soundtrack. It truly, truly does. And it's one of those things where I play this game with Martin a lot, and it's one of those things where if I'm having to wait for him to set up or whatever, I do not mind just sitting on the title screen for hours. And I kind of did that today because part of the big patch was a bunch of lore for the item drops. This has been trickling in over time, but obviously the majority of effort was placed in actually making the game first. But I believe as of now, thank you, Vinny. I believe as of now, every item drop, every environment, every enemy, and every playable character have full little backstories around them, or in the case of the characters and enemies, full bios. And sometimes they're directly related to the item. Sometimes they're sort of tangentially related to the item, maybe what led to its creation. Sometimes they're literally just a shipping manifesto. Because as I'm learning, the basic premise of Risk of Rain is this massive cargo ship that was also carrying scientists and stuff like that through an uncharted area, ended up stranded on this planet. The ship went down on this planet, and the people you play as are part of a rescue attempt and or retrieval of whatever you can find, if it's a lost cause. And so that's the general gist of what you're doing. You're trying to escape the planet after realizing that shit's fucked and there's no one left. So yeah, some of the items are literally just like a lot of the pickups are things that were just being shipped, apparently. And so sometimes it's literally just customs going through and checking off items and little or maybe the notes they were being shipped with if they were going from person to person, that kind of thing. It's just, I love little flavor text like that. At one point, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a flavor text guy. I wanted to be like the person that wrote codex entries for games like Mass Effect, that kind of thing. Or like, before I really knew Mass Effect, I wanted to write like log entries for Metroid Prime. Just these little insignificant things that don't really mean anything to people. Like the only people they mean things to are people that are really passionate about the series. Little things like the space pirate logs in the Metroid Prime games. Like, they don't need to be there, but they really flesh out the world in a very natural storytelling way, and that's kind of what I wanted to do for a long time. But instead I'm this. Anyway, so yeah, I'm probably gonna give Dragon Quarter another shot tomorrow, because when I sat and thought about it, in all fairness, what I'm thinking is an impossible roadblock right now. I also thought that about the boss I've beaten twice in a row now. So it's always aggravating walking into a fight underprepared woefully and just kind of getting your own ass handed to you on a plate. But at the same time, hopefully this means I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing next time and can maybe avoid the same thing happening again. That's the hope, anyway. Like, literally, as I say that, I'm having to pause in my sentences because I'm thinking about the fight and I've already thought of 3 new things to try. So, there's hope yet, I think. Why didn't I try that? Yeah, I'm giving it another shot tomorrow. So, I'll catch you all then and let you know how that goes, I guess.